Ambassador Fredriksen, Rector, dear distinguished guests in Ottawa and Trondheim. Welcome to the Doctoral Award ceremony in honor of Paul Hebert and Professor Gilbert Laporte. My name is Tor Grande, and I will be the Master of Ceremonies today. With me here in Trondheim, I have Rector Anne Borg, Professor Marielle Christiansen from the Faculty of Economics, and Professor Torbjørn Ekrem from the Department of Natural History at the NTNU University Museum. We are gathered here at Lerchendal Mansion, the white wooden house you just saw at the end of the film. The house is where Rector would normally have invited our honorary doctors for a dinner. You also saw pictures of the NTNU main building, where we usually celebrate our new PhDs and honorary doctors. Before we move on to the formal ceremony, I would also like to invite the Norwegian ambassador and the rector of NTNU to share their greetings with us. How are you doing in Canada? Ambassador Fredriksen, the floor is yours.
Well, thank you, Pro-Rector Grande. It's a great honor for us here at the Embassy in Ottawa to be able to host one part of the ceremony today with the Professors Hebert and Professor Laporte. We also have with us their honorary guests. We have a representative from the Research Council of Canada and representatives from our embassy here in Ottawa. So, Rector Borg, distinguished guests, it's a great honor for us here at the embassy and for me personally to be able to host today's ceremony. Although we all wish the circumstances had been different and that Dr. Hebert and Dr. Laporte had the opportunity to visit beautiful Trondheim in person. Canada and Norway are two like-minded countries and like-minded people, but we are also different. Together, that makes us complementary. And to complement each other in the field of research is something we should strive for. I'm happy to say that a lot is going on to this end. Norway and Canada have similar industrial structures and research profiles. Arctic research, climate, energy, oceans, and health are only some examples of the ongoing collaboration between different institutions across our two countries. To support and expand the institutional links, Norway this year added to its panorama strategy for 2021 to 2027, Canada as well. Panorama is the strategy and tool for bilateral cooperation on higher education and research with key partner countries outside the EU. The purpose is increased quality and relevance in higher education and innovation in Norway through internationalization and cooperation, including with the business sector. Canada has been a key partner for the Norwegian knowledge sector for many, many years. What Norway wants to do now is to strengthen the academic interactions between our two countries in the long term. This is all about operational partnerships between agencies, institutions, faculties, and authorities, but first and foremost, between people. From the diplomatic point of view, today's honoring of Dr. Laporte and Dr. Hebert is all about highlighting the strong links between scholars in Norway and Canada, but also about encouraging others to follow suit and take the opportunities we have together in creating new science. Thank you for your attention, and back to Trondheim.
Thank you, Ambassador Fredriksen, for your kind greetings. I am most grateful that you could host this doctoral awards ceremony on behalf of NTNU. Even if we see light at the end of the tunnel, it may still be some time until we can travel internationally. So we are delighted that we meanwhile can meet online as we are doing today. I'm also pleased to see that you have used this opportunity to invite stakeholders from Canadian research and education to join us in this ceremony. The research collaboration and student exchange between our two countries is of great value to NTNU. It is unique that NTNU is bestowing a doctorate upon 2 Canadians in the same year. In 2007, Professor Jon Elvedal of McMaster University received an honorary doctorate based on his outstanding work in material science. Unfortunately, he was not able to attend today. Our 2 new honorary doctors have excelled in very different fields. In my mind, however, they have one important thing in common. Through their academic work, they have contributed to a more sustainable development and to NTNU's vision, knowledge for a better world. Sustainable development is dear to my heart as rector. And when I welcomed the new students this autumn, I spoke about NTNU's commitment to the UN Sustainable Development Goals. It is my ambition that the students graduating from NTNU, regardless of their field of education, have obtained an understanding of the challenges and dilemmas we are facing, and that they are having new tools of knowledge at hand to make a difference. This spring, NTNU launched a major research effort on sustainability. And I'm excited about what we can achieve, having earmarked 40 PhD positions for interdisciplinary research in this area. As a university with a main profile in science and technology, we will investigate how major shifts in technology may have systemic effects on the environment, society, and the economy. Master of Ceremonies, Prorector Tor Grande, will you please guide us through the doctoral award ceremony?
Thank you, Rector Borg. In Norway, the universities are entitled by law to award honorary doctorates for important scientific or artistic contribution or outstanding work for the benefit of science or art. We are thus celebrating academic excellence today. Let me first ask Professor Torbjørn Ekrem to step forward and read the motivation for bestowing the honorary doctorate degree upon Professor Paul Hebert. Please, Professor Ekrem, the floor is yours.
Dear Ambassador, Rector, distinguished guests, it's an honor for me to introduce Professor Paul Hebert and his extraordinary commitment and contribution to biodiversity science. Hebert holds a Canada Research Chair in Molecular Biodiversity at the University of Guelph and is awarded Officer of the Order of Canada for his achievement as an evolutionary biologist. His early career focused on understanding natural history, and he soon became a passionate, developed a passion for biodiversity. This, combined with a keen interest for new technologies, led Hebert to develop the concept of DNA barcoding, a way to identify species using short DNA fragments. The concept of DNA barcoding has since then revolutionized the way we assess and monitor biodiversity. If people know more about the biological diversity that surrounds them, it is more likely that they become guardians of sustainable use of natural resources. With today's rate of species discovery and species extinction, millions of species will be lost before we even find them. DNA barcoding has changed the game substantially and increased our understanding and our discovery rate of life on our planet. Paul Hebert has been the driving force in the international Barcode of Life community. He has brought together researchers and nature managers and brilliantly communicated the importance of biodiversity all over the world. He has also, through a formal agreement, connected the International Barcode of Life community with the UN Convention for Biological Diversity. Hebert has been a close collaborator of NTNU since 2006. His Center for Biodiversity Genomics is a key partner in the national research infrastructure, the Norwegian Barcode of Life, which is led by NTNU. And Hebert is a scientist with great visions. Recently, the international research program BioScan was awarded $24 million from the Canadian New Frontiers in Research Fund. And we are currently, together with European partners, developing a proposal to Horizon Europe to match those funds from this side of the Atlantic. Through BioScan, Hebert and NTNU will continue collaboration with partners from 40 nations to rapidly increase our understanding of biodiversity and our capacity for sustainable use and conservation of natural resources. Dear Paul, on behalf of your partners here at NTNU, I am delighted that you have been honored with this well-deserved award. Congratulations.
Thank you, Professor Ekrem. Having heard the reasons for the award, let us now move to Ottawa and ask Ambassador Fredriksen and Professor Paul Hebert to step forward.
Professor Hebert, it's a great pleasure on behalf of Rector Anne Borg to hand over to you the diploma and the ring as a visible insignia of your honorary doctorate at the NTNU. Thank you, Professor Hebert.
Professor Paul Hebert, having received the diploma and the ring, I hereby declare you Doctor Honoris Causa of the Norwegian University of Science and Technology. I also confer upon you the jus docendi, which allows you to lecture at our university. Our research community looks forward to welcoming you to Trondheim and to attending your guest lecture when we again can meet in person. We wish you all success.
Congratulations to our new honorary doctor. The floor is yours, Professor Hebert.
Ambassador Fredriksen, Rector Borg, Pro-Rector Grande, Professor Ekrem, colleagues in Trondheim, and guests here in Ottawa. It's a very great privilege to to receive this honorary doctorate. I say this in part because I admire NTNU's focus on the application of science and technology for the betterment of humanity. Equally important, I've witnessed the contribution, the commitment of your faculty and staff to the realization of this ambition. Of course, being a Canadian, it's also easy to feel a closeness with the landscapes and the people of Norway. It's certain we're living in two of the happiest nations on earth in the most magical time in history. Let me qualify what I mean by magic. I'm using it to signify that there's no difference between magic and advanced scientific technologies. Science brings the impossible to everyday life. I've had the chance to practice a lot of magic. For 20 years, my research group has employed DNA sequencing and computational methods to advance biodiversity science. Before mid-century, we'll complete the inventory of species and we'll activate a global biosurveillance system. This work can't be done alone. Across an alliance that spans 40 nations, no institution has had a more important role than NTNU. It coordinates NORBOL, the Norwegian Barcode of Life Network, and it hosted the 8th International Barcode of Life Conference. More than 500 delegates from 60 nations had a wonderful chance to talk magic in your great city in those halcyon pre-COVID times. Before closing, I want to look back and I want to look ahead. The 1992 Earth Summit highlighted our heavy impacts on the millions of species that share our planet. The Convention on Biological Diversity, which emerged from this summit, represented a call to action, a call to adopt practices that will ensure the survival of our planet mates. Humanity has been at war with nature for millennia. This has to stop. We must declare peace. As we strive to achieve an armistice, the world is grateful for the magnificent contributions made by Professor Ekrem, by his colleagues at NTNU, and by the NORBOL Alliance. Thank you so much for the honor of joining your university as an honorary doctorate.
Thank you very much for your inspiring words, Professor Hebert. And now, we have another outstanding researcher with us today. Professor Marielle Christiansen, would you read the motivation for bestowing the honorary degree upon Professor Gilbert Laporte? Please, Professor Christiansen, the floor is yours.
Dear Ambassador, Rector, and distinguished guests, I'm delighted to give this speech in honor of Gilbert Laporte. Gilbert Laporte is a Professor Emeritus of Operations Research at HEC Montreal and held the Canada Research Chair in Distribution Management. He is a member of the Order of Canada in recognition of his immense contribution to the advancement of decision science and the development of new methods of operations research. Laporte is a world-leading researcher within optimization of transportation and logistics, location analysis, and timetabling. And his contributions are key to more sustainable development. His research has advanced the development of successful decision support systems, better planning and operations in industry, business, and public sector. For several of these projects, Laporte has won Excellence in Practice Awards. At the NTNU Department of Industrial Economics and Technology Management, we have enjoyed a long-term research collaboration with Gilbert Laporte for more than 20 years. He has visited us in Trondheim almost annually since 2002, giving guest lectures and participating in workshops. our master students, PhD candidates, and professors have enjoyed all the challenging scientific discussions. Our corporations have created close ties with the entire operations research community in Montreal with mutual visits for professors and PhD candidates. This cooperation has resulted in more than 20 papers with our staff and PhD candidates. Through our long friendship, I have learned that Gilbert Laporte is not just an outstanding researcher, he is also a warm and inclusive person who always managed to create a friendly atmosphere around him. Dear Gilbert, I really look forward to meeting you again at conferences and in Montreal, and not least to welcoming you to Trondheim for your guest lecture as Honorary Doctor at NTNU. Congratulations on your great and memorable day.
Thank you, Professor Christiansen. Having heard the reasons for the award, let me ask Ambassador Fredriksen and Professor Gilbert Laporte to step forward.
Professor Laporte, it's a great honor for me, on behalf of Rector Anne Borg, to present you with a diploma and a ring as a visible insignia of your honorary doctorate at the NTNU.
Tack.
And the ring. Professor.
Professor Gilbert Laporte. Having received the diploma and the ring, I hereby declare you Doctor Honoris Causa of the Norwegian University of Science and Technology. I also confer upon you the jus docendi, which means that you're allowed to lecture at our university. Our research community looks forward to welcoming you to Trondheim and to attending your guest lecture when we again can meet in person. We wish you every success.
Congratulations to our new honorary doctor. Professor Laporte, the floor is yours.
Ambassador Fredriksen, Rector Borg, Professor Christiansen, distinguished guests. Good morning, good ettermiddag. I am deeply honored to receive today an honorary doctorate from the Norwegian University of Science and Technology, which ranks among the best engineering schools worldwide. My contacts with professors and researchers at NTNU date back to 1995, when I first met Professor Bjørn Nygren at an operations research conference in Reykjavik. I have since sustained scientific collaborations with several professors in the Department of Industrial Economics and Technology Management, particularly with Professors Henrik Andersen, Marielle Christiansen, Kjetil Fagerholt, and Magnus Ståland. They specialize in maritime transportation, which is also one of my areas of interest, and they have established themselves as world leaders in this area. Over a period of 20 years, I have had the opportunity to collaborate with them and their students on several research projects in the field of maritime routing and scheduling. This collaboration has truly enriched my academic life. Over the same period, the members of the IoT department have made several research visits to our research center in Montreal. My first visit to Trondheim dates back to 2002. This was the year of the wedding of Princess Martha Louise that took place in the Nidaros Cathedral. Having watched the ceremony on Canadian television, I thought I would like to visit this cathedral one day. On my first visit to Trondheim, I was given a private visit by Professor Nygren, his wife, and the bishop. I have returned to Trondheim almost every year since then to visit colleagues at NTNU. I take this opportunity to thank them for their wonderful hospitality and for allowing me to interact with their students through lectures and research activities. My visits usually take place in October when the days are short, there are leaves on the ground, and the city has a melancholic air, which I truly enjoy. International travel has been impossible over the past 2 years, but I will return to Trondheim as soon as I can. My heartfelt thanks go to Rector Borg, to Professor Marielle Christiansen, and to His Excellency Jon Elvedal Fredriksen for hosting this wonderful ceremony. Tusen takk.
Thank you for your kind words, Professor Laporte. With this, our online ceremony in Ottawa and Trondheim has come to an end. It has been a ceremony in celebration of collaboration and of academic excellence. On behalf of NTNU, I once again would like to extend our gratitude to the Norwegian Embassy for hosting the ceremony and the reception in Ottawa. We end our joint ceremony with the pictures from Trondheim and from NTNU, and we hope to see you soon in Trondheim.